So today we're going to get into a little geometry. So we're going to look at these terms. So our first math vocab term, acute. So this is an acute angle. An acute angle is an angle who measures less than 90 degrees. An angle which measures less than 90 degrees. So an obtuse angle is like that. So an angle which measures more than 90 degrees. Now for our next one, a right angle. This is a right angle. And that measures exactly 90 degrees. And then finally, a straight angle. A straight angle looks a lot like a line. And so we would say the measure of that angle is 180 degrees. So, straight, 180 degrees, which is a line. Now, a reflex is an angle that measures between 180 and 360. But wait, you're probably thinking, that's an acute angle. How could that possibly be between 180 and 360? Ah, but you're thinking of measuring this angle here. But nope. I'm talking about measuring this angle right here. So if you think about it that way, then that's a reflex. So between 180 degrees and 360. So angle ABC, and that's how we pronounce this. We say this is angle ABC, and we name it because A, B, C. Boom, 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 in that order. So angle ABC measures 90 degrees, which is what this symbol right here means, is that that's a right angle. It measures 90 degrees. But it's been separated into two angles by line D. So one angle measures 57. What's this one measure? What is angle X? Well, the two angles are related because if we combine them, they will measure 90. Combined, they equal 90 degrees. Equals. So what equation could we use to solve for x? Well, we know that x equals 90 minus 57. Go ahead and solve for x and come see me for a smelly star once you think you've got your solution. So Michelle's designing a parking lot. She's determined that one of the angles has to be 115 degrees, so an obtuse angle because it's bigger than 90. So what's the measure of angle x and y? All right. How is angle x related to the 115 degree angle? Well, so we know this angle is 115, this angle right here. And we know that this whole thing, because it's a straight line, would be 180. So if both of them combined are 180, and this is taking up 115, then we know that x equals 180 minus 115. So we would solve that equation by subtracting 115 from 180. So x equals 65 degrees. Now how is angle y related to the angle? Well, go take a look back on the page. Because those are consistent lines, angle x, we write that angle x is the same as angle y. They're equal. They have the same measurement. So a beam is reflected off a mirror. Below is a diagram of the reflected beam. Determine the missing angle measure. Well, let's see. We know this whole thing here, this flat line, that's 180 degrees. And then we have 55 out and 55, and whatever's left is x. So how are the angles in this question related? They all add up to 180. So what equation can we write to represent the situation? 180 minus 55 minus 55. Or, if we want to be fancy, oh, I need to have my x equals. If we want to be fancy, we could say x equals 180 minus 2 times 55. So, how would you solve an equation like this? Go ahead and solve it and bring it to me for a smelly star. So angle ABC measures 90 degrees. I'm going to draw myself a picture. A, B, C. Then I'm going to mention it's a right angle. It's been split into two angles, ABD and DBC. The measure of the two angles is in a ratio of 4 to 1. What are the measures of each angle? Okay, so one is 4 times bigger than the other. So here's a tape diagram to represent 4 to 1. I'm going to say 4 blue and 1 white. So then what's the measure of each angle? Well, my tape diagram for 4 to 1, I have it divided into 5 chunks. So I need to figure out how much each of these chunks is worth, so I can figure out how much my small angle is worth and how much my bigger angle. So I know the whole thing is 90, so I need to figure out 90 divided by 5. Which I can just count by 5s. And so I know that each of these chunks is going to be 18 degrees. So then I know that the measure of this angle is 18 degrees. And this one is 4 times 18 degrees. So if we wanted to represent this situation with an equation, I would say, I'll just use x. X equals 90 over 5 multiplied by 4 for the larger angle, and for the smaller one we'll say y equals 90 over 5. Alright, go ahead and solve and come see me for a smelly star. If you get stuck on the exercises, raise your hand and get some help. You need to get a smelly star on your exercises before you can move on to your problem set. Good luck.